Hey, y'all, what's going on? This is your girl, Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Um, you know, it's been a few days since I've last made a video. But before we get into, the video, I just hope everyone had a great week and a great weekend. I hope you guys got to rest or spend time with family or got to do whatever it is that maybe you've been putting off or what have you, right? So for me, much blessings to everyone, right? So for me, these past couple of weeks, let alone these past couple of days, have been extremely hard for me. And I've had to walk in my fear. I've had to confront my own giants, right? And it was like the most uncomfortable thing ever. The most uncomfortable thing ever. I contemplated whether I should make this video, but amongst the fear and anxiety, a lot of that, God has really been showing up and showing out in my life. And he's really been putting to shame like my fear and my doubt, you know. For a long time I've been like just depleted, everything, right? And there were so many times that I wanted to hit record a video, but you know, I just felt like, it's not good. The lighting's not good. I don't know what to say. But I'm like, look, if I don't just hit record, I'm never going to make this video. One or maybe two good things, two celebratory things, two victories that happened this week, was, one, I got internet access or new internet that I did not have to pay for. Glory and praises to God. I did not have to pay for it because they had like a promotion going. And then I also got a new phone that I only paid like $26 for. And this phone, this is like a $300 phone, right? So I'm coming off of the iPhone 13 Pro. So I'm coming off of the iPhone 13 Pro, and it was just funny how everything just kind of happened. I was kind of down in the pits because, just having like, it's just a long story, right? Internet was turned off. I lost access to my phone, the iPhone Pro 13. That was no more. So, I went and just kind of went to see it because I know they have like the free phones and stuff, right? So they have the free phones. So I wanted to see if I could get like a free phone, but I forgot like you have to pay like a small price to get the free phone, whether it's like $10, $25, whatever, right? So I was like, all right, you know what? I went out there to see what I could do, and nothing really popped, right? So I said, well, okay. So I did go to like Spectrum, and they had like this whole big promotion, stuff like that. So I did not pay for like upfront. I mean, not saying that I'm not going to pay, but upfront I did not pay for the internet service and the phone that I did get, which is the Moto G Stylus. I only paid like $26 for it. You know what I'm saying? So I was super happy about that. I just kind of feel like with iPhones, there's nothing exciting. There's nothing new about iPhones. Like it does the same tricks, you know, a one-trick pony, so to speak. Rebranding, packaging, like you change like the body of the phone, you know, but like there's nothing to like the software, you know, maybe a few specs here or there, maybe an additional camera. They take one camera off, you know, then you have one camera. They may add two more cameras, then you got three cameras, you know. But like I said, it's like a one-trick pony. Like, so I'm not bashing Apple because I really do like Apple a lot. But yeah, I just kind of feel like with Android, you have a little bit more options, and I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, right? But this, how I came to like wanting the Moto G stylus was, I went into Best Buy, and I was just kind of looking at phones and stuff because I kind of got to like the Spectrum store early, and they weren't open just yet. So I went to the Best Buy, looked at phones, and the Moto G was the one that like I fell in love with. I was like, oh my god, this phone is so fire, you know. And surprisingly enough, that was the same phone they had in Spectrum, so I just got it. Yeah. But enough about that. So that was one good thing that happened. I did like a tester video, so I may post that tester video. I may not. I don't know. So I'm really happy about that. But also, you know, it's just been a lot going on over here on my end. Like it's just been I've been doing a lot of purging, a lot of crying, you know, and actually, like I feel like that's all I do these days is just cry, you know, and I think really it's because of, or I have all these emotions that I never expressed, that I never had the opportunity to speak on, you know, like for a good portion of my life, like I was always told to be quiet. Nobody wants to hear you. I felt like I was never seen, right? So now that I'm on my journey with God and just talking to him, praying, you know, trying to get right with him, never 100%, but trying to get right with him. Like God is calling me. He's like, Nikki, I need your voice. You know, there's so much power. There's so much healing in your voice. Like people need to hear what you have to say. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a struggle to like get up here and make videos, you know, to be seen, because for my whole life, like I've always been pushed to the bike, you know, to the back, but the bike. So we say it in the South. My mom's from the South, but I'm originally from here in New York, but still, you know. So God is like, I need your voice, like. You know, you command like respect, and that intimidates a lot of people. Like you just walk into spaces, you don't have to say nothing, you know, and the atmosphere shifts. You know it. You know what I'm saying? And so for like so long, like I've prioritized other people's feelings, voices over mine, like just straight people pleaser, you know, and I really feel like these past couple of weeks, especially these last couple of days, I've really been going back to what, like the emotional trauma, the emotional, you know, damage that was done to me in certain situations throughout my life that I never spoke on, that I never like talked about, right? And this may be a long video, so if you do not like long videos, this ain't the video for you, okay? But yeah, so like, I mean, I've just been honest with God because I've experienced a lot of abuse, a lot of Um, Neglect. I experienced a lot of torment, torture. You know, I've never been physically abused, but just a lot of verbal, mental, psychological abuse, has been done to me by a lot of people throughout my life, family, friends, just kind of silencing my voice, a lot of dream killers, a lot of destiny blockers. And I feel like a lot of times, like, during these past, like, couple of weeks, I always say, like, I'm 40, but I'm actually 5. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the issues that I dealt with, that are like surfacing now to the front, or bubbling up to the front, are things that I dealt with at a very tender age. And I would say 5 has to be that age. So I always say I'm 40 going on 5, and I have to apologize to the little girl every single day that never got an apology. And I have to tell her, like, listen, you're never going to get an apology from these people or that person. But I apologize to you because you didn't do anything wrong. Like, you're never going to get a blown out full apology from your father. And that's okay. You have to be okay with not getting an apology from your father. And as much as I love my mom, it's just one of those things, right? I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, it's just one of those things. And so that's just how I felt, and I think one of the things that I revisited is I never really realized how much it stuck with me is I was probably around like 6, 7 years old. And, back then at that time, like, my dad was like a Rolling Stone. Y'all know how Rolling Stones are. Listen to the song, Papa was a Rolling Stone, But yeah, he had my mom and 2 girls, me and my sister. That didn't matter, but my father was very much a Rolling Stone. And wherever he laid his hat was his home. Very much into like the party lifestyle, drinking, drugging, all of that, right? And I remember I just remember there was one day, my dad, the thing for me and my dad was like, he would always take me to the pet store and, he would, like, let me pick out my fish, because I had, like, this love for fishes, right? So he would let me pick out the fish, the kind of fishes that I want, and then, like, once that was done, then we would go to, like, McDonald's or something like that, eat, and then, like, he would drop me back home, those were good times for me, At that age, I didn't really understand or realize it, but before I get into the story, with my dad, I always felt like I had to have something for him. If I never had something for him, then he just wasn't going to be bothered with me, right? But I didn't realize that until later on. But I still very much love my father. Like, that's never going to change, right? So this particular story, he had told me, he was like, hey, I'm going to pick you up on Saturday. We're going to go to the pet store. And then, our routine, we're going to go to McDonald's. And, and I just loved that time with my dad. Like, it just meant everything to me, right? So he told me that. And I was so excited, about that. And, the day comes and, my mom is there and she's like, okay, go get ready. So she helps me getting ready and stuff like that. And he told me, like, between, like, I guess 12 and 1, black people timing. But, like, he'll be there in the afternoon to come and pick me up. Or it could have been, maybe, let's say just 12 to 3. Those were the hours, right? But I'm like, okay. I was excited, and, I sat down on my couch and I watched a little bit of TV, and I was young, like I said. I was like no more than like 7, and I sat down and I like watched the TV, but I was also looking at the time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking, okay, I'm like, all right, it's the time that he said he's gonna be here, but he's not here. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's running a little late, things happen, traffic, whatever. Man, the time that, like, I sat there, like 30 minutes past, an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm sorry, 2.5 hours, 3. And then it just kept, and I'm looking at the time, it's probably like 5 o'clock at this point. And then I was still holding on, like, well, maybe we could just skip, the pet store, and we could just go to McDonald's, and because I still wanted that time. And nothing, and my mother, like, she was in the back, like, throughout that whole time, and, she was just kind of looking at me, and I was just, like, looking at her, and I'm like, do you, like, what do you think happened with Dad? Like, because I think I asked that about an hour, 2 hours in. I was like, you think he's coming? And, my mom was just like, well, maybe something happened, but I'm, pretty sure he'll be here. My mother didn't really say too much, but I just remember her kind of like coming back and forth, just kind of checking on me. And, yeah. I didn't get a call until almost like 9, 10 o'clock at night from my dad. And when he called me and he said, baby, I'm so sorry. I know that we were supposed to go to the pet store and McDonald's, but, like, I'm going to make it up to you. Right? I'm sorry I didn't show up. And I said, oh, that's okay, Dad. That's okay. And I hung up the phone, but I was, like, heartbroken behind that. I was heartbroken. I was devastated. If for a child, I don't think people understand, like, when you tell a child something and, like, you break that promise, that's crazy. Like, it's and that, like, that child could carry that. Kids carry things, like, I was so devastated. I was so heartbroken. And that was my father's relationship, me and my father's relationship. Like, he would promise me things, and more often than not, he never made good on any of his promises, That's just what it was. Like, in my whole life, like, people told me, like, yo, I got you, Nikki, I got you. And then, like, came time to actually having me, and they either bailed, like, flat out, boom, left me, like, cold, and I was just left standing there by myself, or they had, like, an attitude that they had to have me. And I'm like, listen, like, I didn't ask you. You said that you had it. So if you have it, have it. If you don't, just be like, yo, like, I don't really think I can, I know I told you one thing, but, like, I don't really got it like that. But don't try to, like, flip the script on me and make me feel some kind of way because you made a promise and now you have to stick to it. That's not fair to me. Stop making promises you can't keep. So that's just been kind of like the whole course of my life. Like, people making promises that they cannot keep, But I'm the bad guy when I'm like, yo, we still doing? Oh, why you bring? What happened? Like, crazy. And there's been so many instances of that throughout my life. Like, just people constantly, I'm gonna make it up to you. Constantly keeping me in that cycle. And, me allowing myself to be in that cycle. I felt like I always had to perform. Even when it came down to the men that I dated. Horrible. I've been in about 2 or 3 abusive relationships. You know what I'm saying? And, I've never been hit, but a lot of, aggression, a lot of iron fist, micromanaging, just a lot of guilt trips, gaslighting. And I always felt like I was never good enough. So it was the same things. I was attracting the same kinds of, I was attracting my father, but in these men, So they all looked different, but they all had the same, qualities as my dad. So I was dating my dad. My dad was emotionally unavailable. My dad was out here, dating other women, sleeping around with other women, but he had a whole wife at home. He had a whole woman at home with 2 kids. And I've been the other woman, all this stuff. I've waited around for men to change. And I mean, my self-esteem was in the dumps, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I was shown, my whole life. So trying to come out of that is hard. 5 years old. I'm 40. Body says 40. But I'm 5 on a lot of levels. I'm 5 years old on a lot of levels. Right? And, so I feel like this is my purging. I'm purging these emotions. I've been carrying a lot of baggage, a lot of heaviness for the past 35 years. And I've just been operating out of survival mode, which is crazy. I gotta get it done. And I feel like I always have to perform. If I'm not performing, nobody's gonna like me. Nobody's gonna love me. Well, especially when it comes to men. Right? Heavy emphasis on men. I remember a lot of my ex-lovers that I had, I would buy them things, this, that, and the third, and they would never do anything for me. Never. And I had to work so hard to gain their approval. I had to do so many things to gain their approval. But that didn't only just stop in romantic relationships, that also crossed over to friendships and stuff like that. I never got anything, but I was always giving. I never had a safe space. I felt growing up, I was everyone's safe space, but me having a safe space, having someone that I genuinely could just fall apart and be Nikki and be seen, I never really had that, which is why, especially within the past 5 years, I've been survival mode. A lot of transition, a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt, a lot of betrayal, a lot of people saying they got me and they don't. It's a lot. And I just feel very burdened and bogged down, For the newcomers, you know, like it's been rough for me the past 5 years, taking care of my mom for 5 years, you know, constantly making sure she was fed, bathed, taking her to, you know, her doctor's appointments, not getting no sleep at night, trying to shuffle dead end jobs. Yeah. And I feel like God is wanting me to let go. He's wanting me to surrender. I don't know how to surrender. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that is. You know? I legit don't. Because I'm Superwoman. And I feel like a lot of times I have to come to God all dolled up, you know, makeup, put on a face for him. And he's like, girl, go take that makeup off. Whether you have the makeup or not, I love you anyway. Well, I'll never leave you. I'll never. I will never leave you. So, people are like, just give it all to him. Just fall apart at God's. Just let yourself be with him. I don't know how to do that. Like I like to control things. I like to control the narrative. I like to control, because I feel like so many other things in my life I did not have control over, which kind of led me into binge eating, you know, because I had no control of the outside and everything. Like there was a bunch of tornadoes. Like I felt like, and it was like about 6 to 7 tornadoes, and it was all coming my way. And the only thing I could do was like bunker down and just eat, and hope that all these tornadoes, some was started by me, some was started by other people that I let in, that all these tornadoes would just kind of roll over me. You know, I struggle to hear God. God talks very loud to me. He gets my attention, and he'll let me know what I need to be doing, right? But I struggle to hear him a lot of times. I just feel like it's so loud, and I'm scared of the silence a lot of times, because I'm scared of what I'm gonna hear, right? Yeah. So, and God is like, Nikki, I just want you to come back home. I'll go back home, and I'll stay for a little bit, and then I'm going again. Because I feel like when I completely surrender to him, then what does that leave me with? What do I do? How do I take care of myself? If I give everything to God, what does that leave Nikki with? Peace? That's nice. But Nikki needs, you know, I need something to do. I just don't feel adequate enough. And God is like, look at all the greats in the Bible. Look at David. Look at Jonah. Look at Moses, Noah, Joseph, Daniel. Look at all. I could go down the list. Ruth, Esther, Deborah. That's more so the women of the Bible. Look at them. They didn't get everything right. Fornicators, alcoholics, murderers. Look at Peter, Poor. Look at them. Look at Zacchaeus, a tax collector. He was, stealing from the peoples. He said, look at them. And I did great things through them. I just heard Nicodemus. So it's just, I've been struggling. Right? Like I said, I go home and then when I feel like I'm well enough, like, I'll go back out. I'll just go back home to get replenished, and then once I'm replenished, I'll go back out. And I'll run again. That's how I do that. And God was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. Because I'm not your side dude. I'm none of that. Knock that out. I'm your father. And I want full-time custody, not part-time custody. None of that. It's been so challenging. And I'm doing everything by myself. Like, there's so many things that I need to do within my house. There's so many things I need to do outside of my house. But it's hard to do that. When it's just one of you and like 20 million things. So I'm gonna leave you guys with some scripture. Okay. And so this is coming from Overcoming Tough Times. This is what it looks like if anyone is interested. Okay, let me just put that. And this is chapter 18, Don't Give Up. No matter how many times you trip them up, God, loyal people don't stay down long. Soon they're up on their feet while the wicked end up flat on their faces. Proverbs 24:16. The old saying is as true today as it is when it was first spoken. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. That's why wise travelers, like you, select a traveling companion who never tires and never falters. That partner, of course, is your Heavenly Father. The next time you find your courage tested to the limit, remember that God is as near as your next breath, and remember that He offers strength and comfort to His children. He is your shield and your strength. He is your protector and your deliverer. Call upon Him in your hour of need and then be comforted. Whatever your challenge, whatever your trouble, God can help you persevere. And that's precisely what He'll do if you ask Him. Perhaps you are in a hurry for God to help you resolve your difficulties. Perhaps you're anxious to earn the rewards that you feel you've already earned from life. Perhaps you're drumming your fingers impatiently waiting for God to act. But God operates on His own timetable, not yours. Sometimes God may answer your prayers with silence, and when He does, then that is a time for waiting. God's timing is perfect. In times of trouble, God is still there for us, even when we don't know it. We can count on His faithfulness even when He is silent. Okay, and then here's some Bible verses. Be diligent that ye may be found of Him in peace, without spot and blameless. That's from 2 Peter 3:14. Then let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what was promised. Hebrews 10:36. Thanks be to God. He gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, my dear brothers, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully in the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians, I believe that's 15:37. 57 to 58. It is better to finish something than to start it. It is better to be patient than to be proud. Ecclesiastes 7:8. Okay. And then it says, we don't give up, we look up, we trust, we believe, and our optimism is not hollow. Christ has proven worthy. He has shown that he never fails. That's what makes God, God. And then today, he is a respected pastor in Memphis, Tennessee. Hold on, y'all. But in the 1970s, he was just as far as from the church as he could get. As one of the best-selling recording artists in the world, Al Green lived life in the fast lane, and he didn't spend much time thinking or talking about God. All right? I'm going to stop that there because that's going into something else. But those are just some verses that you can reflect on, okay? And once again, that is 2 Peter 3:14. Be diligent that you are not found, that you may be found in peace without spot or blemish. And then we have Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, right? Because at the proper time, your harvest will reap if you don't give up. And then we have Hebrews 10:16. For you need of endurance so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what was promised, right? And then 1 Corinthians 15:57 through 58. Thanks be to God, he gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, my dear brothers, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that you labor in the land, or you labor in the Lord. Your labor in the Lord is not in vain. And then we have Ecclesiastes 7:8. It is better to finish something than to start it. It is better to be patient than to be proud. And then just some quick questions to leave you with. Do I have healthy respect for the power of perseverance? That's one. Just think about it. And then when I'm discouraged, do I ask God to give me strength? And then do I associate with people who encourage me to be courageous, optimistic, energetic, and persistent? That's a good one. All right. And on that note, I'm going to leave with this. And it says, Dear Lord, when life is difficult, I am tempted to abandon hope in the future, but you are my God, and I can draw strength from you. Let me trust you, Father, in good times and in bad times. Let me persevere, even if my soul is troubled, and let me follow your Son, Jesus Christ, this day and forever. Amen. So, guys, we're rounding the 40-minute mark. God is also telling me some... before I end this video, Psalm 125. Okay. And it says, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people, both now and forevermore. The scepter of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous, for then the righteous might use their hands to do evil. Lord, do good to those who are good, to those who are upright in heart. But for those who turn to crooked ways, the Lord will banish them with the evildoers. And then lastly, we're going to do 75, and I'm going to let y'all go. God is taking me all over, child. We praise you, God. We praise you for your name is near. People tell of your wonderful deeds. You say, I choose the appointed time. It is I who judge with equity when the earth and all its people quake. It is I who hold its pillars firm. To the arrogant I say, boast no more, and the wicked, do not lift up your horns. Do not lift up your horns against heaven. Do not speak so defiantly. No one from the east or the west or from the desert can exalt themselves. It is God who judges. He brings one down, he exalts another. In the hand of the Lord is a cup full of foaming wine mixed with spices. He pours it out, and all the wicked of the earth drink it down to its very dregs. As for me, I will declare the forever this forever. I will sing praise to the God of Jacob, who says, I will cut off the horns of all the wicked, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted up. And last but not least, Psalm 66. Shout for joy to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. Make his praise glorious. Say to God, how awesome are your deeds. So great is your power that your enemies cringe before you. All the earth bows down to you. They sing praise to you. They sing praises of your name. Come and see what God has done, his awesome deeds for mankind. He turned the sea into dry land. They passed through the waters on foot. Come, let us rejoice in him. He rules forever by his power. His eyes watch the nations. Let not the rebellious rise up against him. Praise our God, all peoples. Let the sound of his praise be heard. He has persevered our lives and kept our feet from slipping. For you, God, tested us. You refined us like silver. You brought us into prison and laid burdens on our backs. You let people ride over our heads. We went through fire and water, but you brought us to a place of abundance. It will come to your temple with burnt offerings and fulfill my vows to you. Vows my lips promised and my mouth spoke when I was in trouble. I will sacrifice fat animals to you and an offering of rams. I will offer bulls and goats. Come and hear, all you who fear God. Let me tell you what he has done for me. I cried out to him in my mouth. His praise was on my tongue. If I had cherished sin in my heart, the Lord would not have listened, but God has surely listened and has heard my prayer. Praise be to God. Who's not rejected my prayer or withheld his love from me. Now, there's some honorable mentions. He's giving me Psalm 15, Psalm 75 again, Psalm 66, Psalm 45, Psalm 25, Psalm 35, yeah, so, and Psalm 12, Psalm 5, okay, so he's just hitting me boom, 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 with the Psalm 48, so, yeah, I'm going to end it there, but y'all could definitely look up all of those Psalms. If you do not have a Bible, you can always Google it, or you can just, like I said, go to a local church or what have you. You can order a Bible, off of Amazon. But yeah, so with that being said, guys, I just wanted to throw that video out there. We are like 43 minutes in. Yay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in my next video. I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.